It is Thursday, the 27th day of July 2023. Glad you could join us. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch and Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Muridhi. Let's connect on our social media platforms at Hope TV Kenya on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter as we take a look at today's news. President William Ruto has announced the release of 32 billion shillings shareable revenue for counties for this month of July 2023. Speaking in Lamu, the president said the money will be disbursed to counties today. The head of state also said that 2.3 billion shillings will be disbursed today to all cash transfer beneficiaries under the Social Protection Program for July 2023 across the country. Alice Diana with more.
County governments have a reason to smile after President William Ruto announced that 32 billion shillings shareable revenue for counties for this month of July will be disbursed to all the 47 counties today. In the past, governors have been protesting against delays by the National Treasury to release the cash to counties, claiming that services had been paralyzed at the devolved units. Speaking on Thursday during the official opening of the Lamu County Commissioner's office in Mokowe, President Ruto stated that he had pledged to ensure that his administration will not have any pending bills owed to counties.
Mwaka uliopita, serikali iliyoko ilivuka mwaka na bilioni 30 ya counties. Mwaka huu nimehakikisha haijabaki hata sumni. Pesa zote za county governments I paid before the end of the year. All money.
According to the president, who is on a 5-day Coast Region Development Tour, 2.3 billion shillings will also be disbursed to all cash transfer beneficiaries under the Social Protection Program for this month of July across the country.
Nilisema wakati wa uchaguzi ya kwamba nitabadilisha mfumo. Watu hawa ambao ni wa cash transfer tayari kawaida wanangojea miezi miwili, miezi 3, miezi 6 wakingojea pesa zao za cash transfer. Na nilisema tutabadilisha kabla mshahara ya rais haijalipwa, mshahara ya hawa watu wa cash transfer ilipwe ama stipend yao ilipwe. Leo tena we are releasing 2.3 billion for this month for all our cash transfer beneficiaries. Wale wazee wakongwe, wale watu wenye wanaishi na ulemavu, watoto wetu ambao ni mayatima, pesa zao itakuwa inalipwa wakati mishahara ya wafanyikazi wa serikali inalipwa.
Speaking at the same event, President Ruto appealed to leaders to engage in peaceful politics, saying it was backward to employ violence and destruction of property in politics. He asked the police to act firmly to maintain law and order within the confines of the Constitution.
As a nation, we must, by all means possible, agree on one thing, that whatever it is, whatever the politics, whatever the sides, we must agree that there will be no violence, no destruction of private business, no destruction of public property in the politics, in the equation of the politics of Kenya. That we must agree.
The president also issued checks to the local fishing community at Mokowe, Lamu County, in a bid to boost the fishing industry.
Nia yetu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba the fish industry, ama the blue economy industry in the Republic of Kenya, that today we can only access about 20 billion shillings in the whole industry. Our plan is that in the next 3 years, we should be able to move the fish or blue economy from 20 billion shilling industry to 120 billion industry.
Leaders present at the event were Cabinet Secretaries Kindiki Kithure, Aisha Jumwa, Salim Vuria, Governor Issa Timami of Lamu, Abdul Somad Nasir of Mombasa, MPs Ruweida Obo of Lamu East, Stanley Mudhama of Lamu West, and Joseph Githuku of Lamu County.
Hii pwani tumemsupport Raila Odinga miaka nenda miaka rudi. Tulianza kubadilisha wakati wa William Ruto na hakuna siku tulifanya maandamano. Kwa hivyo huluka yake isiwe yetu. Sisi ni watu wastaarabu sana. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Wapwani ni kweli ama si kweli?
Rais, nimekusikia mara kwa mara ukisema tukivaa masufuria juu ya kichwa haitateremsha bei ya chakula. Na sisi Lamu tunajua hivyo. Ndiyo maana huku Lamu hujasikia maneno ya maandamano na wala hutasikia.
Alice Diana, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Alice Diana, for that report. Education experts are cautioning that the competency-based curriculum CBC faces potential setbacks in its implementation in Marsabit County. They say lack of the requisite infrastructure to successfully implement the CBC in the region and inaccessible modern teaching facilities still remain a critical challenge for the successful implementation of the curriculum, whose approach moves away from the traditional examination centered to a transformative system aiming to nurture individual talents and abilities. Melissa Oduor with that report.
According to education experts, Marsabit County is facing potential setbacks in the implementation of the competency-based curriculum CBC system of education. The CBC, which was introduced as a pilot program in 2017 and later rolled out across the country, emphasizes a more practical and hands-on approach to learning. It focuses on nurturing individual talents and abilities rather than solely relying on traditional examinations. The goal is to equip students with practical skills that can be applied in real-world scenarios. Emmanuel Leyumba, the acting head teacher in the Apparel Primary School in Marsabit, stated that lack of necessary infrastructure could jeopardize the successful implementation of CBC in the region. He further said that the success of CBC depended heavily on access to modern teaching facilities, learning materials, and technological tools to facilitate interactive learning. Unfortunately, Marsabit's remote and disadvantaged geographical location has made it difficult to provide these essential resources to schools in the area.
They have been running around 6 to 7 years up to now, but we are facing some challenges on CBC. Lack of enough teachers. We are understaffed. We are only 5 TSC teachers against 8 classes. So we are facing a challenge, and also materials. We are also facing a hard time in materials provisions, although we are just struggling to achieve the required curriculum because it is recommended, it has been passed through. So we are just struggling. Sometimes we face a lot of challenges during some practical activities, whereby we are being enforced to do some things which we lack here. Security, sometimes the place is not secured. We face the challenges of insecurity. Sometimes our neighboring community, that's Gabra and Turkana, sometimes bring charges of stealing livestock, and the place become unsecured.
The challenges facing the successful implementation of CBC in Marsabit further points to the importance of government support and intervention. Leyumba has urged the local authorities and the National Education Ministry to collaborate to address the school's unique needs and provide the necessary assistance to ensure a level playing field for Marsabit students. The CBC was envisioned as a transformative education system that would equip Kenya's youth with the skills needed to face the challenges of the modern world. To achieve this goal, it is crucial that all regions, including Marsabit, receive equal opportunities and support in its implementation. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Melissa Oduor.
Much appreciated, Melissa, for that report. Financial experts are cautioning that Kenya's current internal borrowing situation poses significant risks to the national economic stability and growth prospects. According to the analysts, addressing these challenges will require a concerted effort from the government, policymakers, and citizens to implement prudent financial management practices and foster a conducive economic environment for sustainable growth. Here's that report.
In recent times, Kenya has been grappling with a significant challenge in its economic landscape, internal borrowing. The country's reliance on internal borrowing has raised concerns among economists, policymakers, and citizens alike, as it poses serious implications for the nation's financial stability and economic growth. Many Kenyans are saying they are burdened by the high cost of living and the recent anti-government protests, which has left many counting losses since many businesses were not opened for fear of the unknown.
Mimi ningeomba tu kusema tu serikali wakae chini wasikizane. Kama sasa hivi tumeona kazi hakuna, vijana tunakaa mpaka saa hizi. Inafika kama saa kama hizo hakuna customer, hakuna nini. Manze mimi ningesema tu sijui kutakuwa aje.
According to the National Treasury, the country's total expenditure for financial year 2023-2024 is 3.7 trillion shillings, equivalent to 22.6% of GDP. This as the financial year 2022-2023 actual net domestic cumulative borrowing as of 16th June stood at 419.46 billion Kenya shillings. In October 2022, domestic debt rose at a faster rate of 10.8%, or 426 billion, to hit 4.386 trillion. While the internal borrowing situation in Kenya has reached a critical juncture, recent reports from the Central Bank of Kenya shows that the government's domestic debt has reached an all-time high, with increasing borrowing from the local sources over the past few years. The rising trend in internal borrowing is primarily attributed to various factors, including fiscal deficits, where government spending exceeds revenue allocation, infrastructure development, and debt rollover.
Igavanya ilifanya kutundaganya sababu maisha imekuwa ngumu sana. Nyeka mimi hii ndugu yangu napata ile mafuta nilikuwa naeka, najipata yenyewe nimepata kitu. Nje sasa hivi kuumia tunaumia. Unapata jeshi yani unapata jeshi mingi kwa familia wanalia tu njaa. Hadi mko kwa stage na wao nasikia tu wanaguruma tu. Sasa sijui itakuwaje.
Bila shaka chumi saa hii haitupeleki vizuri, haiendelee vizuri. Kwa saa hizi si kama kitambo. Kama mimi bila shaka mimi ni mfanyabiashara hapa Raunda, nauza vitu kama viatu, na kusema kweli biashara saa hii iko chini ukilinganisha na hapo kitambo. Bei yenye tunanunua viatu saa hizi si kama yenye tulikuwa tunanunua kitambo. Kwa hivyo bila shaka saa hizi bei iko juu, imeongezeka.
However, KRA recorded a growth of 6.7% in the financial year 2022-2023. Revenue allocation has progressively increased to 2.166 trillion Kenya shillings in financial year 2022-2023, representing a growth of 37% in the last 5 years. Kenyans are now urging the president and opposition leader Raila Odinga to resolve their issues so there can be economic stability in the country and avoid losses which are witnessed during the demonstrations. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Cynthia Masibo.
Much appreciated, Joy Gatwiri. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has commended Lamu residents for maintaining peace during the countrywide Azimio-led protests. Speaking during the official opening of the Lamu County Commissioner's office in Mokowe, the Cabinet Secretary thanked the President, saying the office will help solve historical injustices among other challenges facing Lamu County. The Interior Cabinet Secretary also criticized the anti-government protests, adding that his ministry will continue securing the nation in accordance to the Constitution.
Departments ama idara zile zingine za serikali zitakuwa tusikijumuika na county commissioner hapa, ikiwemo idara ya elimu, idara ya vitambulisho, idara ya mambo ya ile birth and death certificates, wananchi watapata huduma hapa karibu. Kuna changamoto nyingi, zingine ni changamoto za kihistoria na itachukua muda kuzikabidhi. Wewe wakati uliomba kura au viongozi walikueleza, na hata wale viongozi wamechaguliwa saa hii wanaendelea kukueleza, na kwa sababu najua kuna vile umepanga kutatua shida ambazo zingine unaweza tatua sasa, zingine kesho, zingine kesho kutwa. Mimi nataka tukuhakikishia ya kwamba wananchi hao wa Lamu ni watu waungwana, ni watu wazuri. Shida hizi zikitatuliwa, tutakuwa na amani ya kudumu na hawa wananchi watachangia pakubwa katika ujenzi wa taifa letu.
And the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry has launched its 2023 to 2027 strategic plan. Speaking at the event, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi stated that the 5-year strategic plan aligns closely with the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which emphasizes the creation of value chains for enhanced wealth and employment generation. Key priorities outlined in the strategic plan include ecosystem restoration through the ambitious 15 billion national tree growing program aimed at bolstering Kenya's tree management. Additionally, the ministry will focus on climate action by implementing sustainable mitigation, resilience, and adaptation interventions. Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya emphasized the plan's significance in promoting environmental conservation and combating climate change while contributing to the country's economic development.
Over the drain system, and
Today, Dandora is just growing bigger and bigger as a dump site. Maybe now it's well over 60 hectares of dump site. The estimated potential for energy from there is, initially it was maybe about 30 megawatts. Perhaps with additional dumping it has gone up. I do not know the exact estimated potential, but I know it is definitely over 30 megawatts of power that can be generated from Dandora.
Awareness for our communities and for Kenyans, because the nature of environmental, climate change and forestry issues is that it is not a government action. It has to be bought by everybody. We have to join hands right from our communities at the grassroots level, all ministries, departments and agencies of government. It has to be an all-government, all-society, all-community approach.
It's timely because in terms of the nature, the extent, the frequency of shocks, we are at an inflection point. The next 5 years are not going to be the same as the last 5 years. I think in the last months, we all witnessed firsthand the impact of the drought. The drought, as you know, was unprecedented. It was unprecedented in terms of its impact on nature. It was unprecedented in terms of its impact on civilization and humanity.
And we are saying, just set aside 2 minutes, just set aside 2 minutes and plant that trees. Because if every Kenyan plant that trees per year, it means we will be able to plant 1.5 billion trees in a year, and we will be able to hit our target. And you know, if you continued and just set aside 1 hour, then you can plant in a year 450 trees. And that would be a plus, a big plus for this country.
Glad you're still with us. Let us now take our very fast commercial break on Newswatch tonight. Don't go too far. We have plenty more coming up.
Thank you for consistently tuning in to watch and listen to our content both on Hope TV and Hope FM. You are the reason why we are on air. The CBS Family Service now comes to you every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Hope TV, Hope FM, and on Sitam Church Online.
The Holy Spirit will empower our prayer lives.
Our mission is to know God and to make Him known through evangelism and discipleship.
CBS Family Service on Hope FM and Hope TV, where you look and live. Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
A very warm welcome back. Now, religious leaders have asked the government to allow the church have its own regulating mechanisms that will help monitor the registration of churches. The clergy, who decried that some people have opened up churches purely for business, said that it would be better for religious institutions to regulate themselves.
Shida ambayo tumepata ni kwamba kila mtu anaweza kukimbia na kuregister kanisa. Zingine zinakuwa ni personal property na personal business. Sasa hayo mambo lazima yachunguzwe, tusije ili dini isitumike kama biashara.
Mambo ambayo tunasikia yanatufinya hasa ule usajili wa dini hapa nchini uweze kuondolewa katika registrar of society, kwa sababu hapo kidogo ndo tunasikia that's where the rubber meets the road.
Katiba ya Kenya imetupa uhuru wa kuabudu, umetupa uhuru wa kuendesha dini zetu, na tunaomba kuwa uhuru huu usiwe unakandamizwa ama unakontroliwa na serikali. Tupate uhuru wetu na tupate kuabudu vizuri.
And moving on, contractors who undertook construction of competence-based curriculum CBC classes in Embu will start receiving their payments tomorrow. County Director of Education Kipruto Kosgei said the ministry had already disbursed all the funds to the schools for CBC classrooms construction Phase 2. 2 weeks ago, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu, while speaking in Embu at Kangaru schools, reported the government had set aside 2.5 billion shillings to settle dues owed to about 1,950 contractors who constructed the classes countrywide. Speaking from his office on Thursday, Kosgei said currently the sub-county directors were working with schools management to ensure their dues were settled immediately.
The ministry has disbursed all the funds to the schools for CBC classroom construction phase 2. So these contractors are going to be paid in due course, and currently the sub-county directors are working on the files with the school management so that the money is paid by tomorrow. So we are anticipating that by tomorrow all the contractors in the county will have been paid, because no school has not received funds. All of them have received the funds. This was occasioned by the fact that the payment model was changed from being paid from the headquarters to the money being sent to the schools.
Hata wale wa Kenya ambaye walikuwa wametengenesha classrooms about 1,950 contractors countrywide, ambaye pesa yao 2.5 billion ilikuwa imekwama. Mheshimiwa Rais vile aliagiza hiyo pesa ikatolewa, na nafikiri from last week tumeanza kulipa wale contractors. Kama uchapata uweze kufika kwa County Director of Education ili pesa yako iweze kufika kwa mfuko, uweze kufanyia kazi ambayo unataka.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has lauded the High Court's move to allow the school feeding program in Nairobi County. The court has refused to give orders stopping the school feeding program pending full hearing. If implemented, the Dishina County program will cost parents 5 shillings per day towards the program.
I'm happy that the court has refused to stop this program. We are already making a lot of progress. We're building the kitchens that we're going to launch on the 28th of August. The process is going on. In some constituencies, children are already eating. And for many times we've said that, you know, the hunger in Nairobi, urban poverty, is really worse than poverty elsewhere. Many of our children are missing school, actually more than many other counties, because of hunger. And we know the pain that there is. You know, many parents cannot afford to feed their children. There are harsh economic times. We have sat down, we've planned, we've worked together with national government to take this burden away from our parents.
And Murang'a County government has embarked on an elaborate plan on working with local water farms to increase water coverage to more than 90%. Governor Irungu Kang'ata Thursday said all the 5 water farms have agreed to transfer their ownership to the county administration, thus giving the devolved unit an opportunity to channel resources to the companies in effort of increasing water connections. Speaking in Mugedu area in Kambiti ward, I beg your pardon, the governor noted water coverage in the county currently stands at 65%, saying Kandara and Maragua constituencies have low water connections as compared to other parts of Murang'a.
Currently we have connected 200 people, 200 connections, and about 10 institutions. When we calculate population-wise, is slightly more than 1,000. Our target is to cover the whole of this region so that we can supply clean drinking water to about 10,000 people.
65% of Murang'a households have piped water. 35% remains without piped water. Maragua constituency plus Kandara, they are the 2 constituencies which happens to be water stressed, and that's why we want to put a little more effort in Maragua constituency.
Kulingana na vile najua na kulingana na vile hata sisi wote tunajua, watu wakikosa maji, kitu ya kwanza hawawezi oga, watoto wetu hawawezi pata maji, na wakikosa, kwa sababu binadamu hawezi ishi kama hajakunywa maji na hajatumia maji, inabidi wanatumia maji chafu. Lakini kwa sababu MUASCO imekubali kusikia mwito wangu ama mwito wetu tukiwa county government, magonjwa itapungua na ni njia moja ya kutusaidia ya kupunguza magonjwa.
Hapa shida maji ilikuwa mingi sana kwa sababu hata ile maji tulikuwa tunapata ni maji chafu, si maji masafi. Lakini sasa tunafurahi kwa sababu tumeambiwa na gavana wetu atatuletea maji.
Tulikuwa na shida mingi sana ya maji. Juu faida yenye unapata ilikuwa inaishia kwa maji. Lakini kwa sababu gavana wetu amekuja huku, tunaona tutakuwa tunapata faida.
Thank you for consistently tuning in to watch and listen to our content both on Hope TV and Hope FM. You are the reason why we are on air. The CBS Family Service now comes to you every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Hope TV, Hope FM, and on Sitam Church Online.
The Holy Spirit will empower our prayer lives.
Our mission is to know God and to make Him known through evangelism and discipleship.
CBS Family Service on Hope FM and Hope TV, where you look and live.
All to praise how
Welcome back. President William Ruto has said that his government will work with the private sector and development partners to increase the acreage of land under irrigation farming. During the commissioning of Tana Delta Irrigation Project, Tana River County, the president said that the scheme will help boost food production and also lower the cost of living in the country.
Ndio sababu tumeweka mpango ya kuunganisha serikali pamoja na private sector tufanye kazi pamoja. Ndio sababu leo nimekuja hapa na kampuni ambayo watashirikiana na sisi kama serikali kuhakikisha ya kwamba wataegeza katika sehemu hii. Tumekubaliana na wao miaka miwili ijayo tutaweka hapa katika Tarda hii shamba yenu hapa shilingi bilioni 10 hapa Tana Delta. Tuzalishe chakula, tuzalishe mchele, tuhakikishe ya kwamba hata chakula ya mifugo tutapata hapa katika hii shamba. Mwaka huu niliwaeleza ya kwamba tutapunguza gharama ya mbolea na vile vile tusaidiane mambo ya mbegu. Tumepunguza mbolea, ilikuwa shilingi 7,000, mwaka huu tumepunguza mpaka shilingi 3,500. Najua watu wa Tana River ni wakulima. Nataka niseme tena nikiwa Tana River leo ya kwamba hiyo 3,500 kuanzia wiki ijayo tutapunguza tena ikuje shilingi 2,500. Nia yetu ikiwa tunataka kumsaidia mkulima aweze kuzalisha, kuwa na uwezo wa kuzalisha chakula.
And now in sports, the DTB Bank with Us golf tournament heads to Nakuru this Saturday on its third leg at the Par Nakuru Golf Club. The tournament has attracted more than 200 participants from the Nakuru region and its environs, including Njoro, Kericho, Nandi, and as far as Nairobi, Kisumu, Kakamega, and Kisii. The second leg of DTB's Bank with Us golf tournament was held in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County, which saw the home player Harun Degwa crowned the overall winner with 40 points. This year's first DTB Bank with Us golf tournament was held in April at Sigona Golf Club in Kiambu. Last year, the bank held 5 successful golf tournaments in Kakamega, Mombasa, Kericho, and Kisumu, culminating in Eldoret, which saw over 1,000 participants take part. The tournament aims to grow the sport as well as boost businesses by bringing services closer to customers and offering them great networking opportunities. And Kenya Rugby Union has introduced a highly subsidized ticket for the World Rugby Under-20 Trophy Tournament to encourage more die-hard rugby fans to grace the final layoffs of the international showpiece this weekend. KRU is running a 100 shillings advanced match entry ticket sales drive from this Wednesday, July 26th till midnight on Saturday, 29th July. On the match day, regular tickets will go for 300 shillings, VIP ticket charge at 1,000, and free entry for primary and high school students in uniform remains unchanged. Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Kanda Sasha Mutai called, I beg your pardon, on the match day, Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Alexander Sasha Mutai called on Kenyan rugby fanatics to come out in large numbers in show of solidarity for the Kenya Under-20 players to lift the players' spirits and embrace their final performance of the tournament. And it's a wrap on Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. God willing, see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Till then, God bless and have a good night.